Yeah, this is very, very significant in relation to digital medicine, and I believe in relation to personalised medicine as well. So in essence, Suka have been awarded an NDA, a new drug application for the Abilify medication. And what's very unique about this treatment is embedded within the pill, embedded within the tablet, is an ingestible sensor. Now, the ingestible sensor, when swallowed, will send a signal via a wearable patch to an application. The application can now track the compliance of the medicine, which it leads to the medical adherence issues being resolved. And ultimately, this is going to be groundbreaking in relation to personalised medicine. A number of my teams over the last few years have ran various projects in relation to this technology and similar kinds of technology. And there have been a number of challenges that we've had to embrace, that we've had to resolve in order to scale the technology. So the first major challenge that we had to address was in relation to the training of the application. So we worked very, very hard to provide very innovative, very well-designed training materials, FAQs. We worked very, very hard to train the primary care teams in the use of the technologies. They spend the time with the patients. So the idea was that they could do a fantastic job of training the end user. The reality was that by the time the patient got home, in over 50% of the occasions, they'd forgotten how to use the technology, or they had forgotten they'd forgotten how to use the technology, or they had lost the training material. The important thing to remember is that Abilify is prescribed for patients with serious medical illness. And this is where we came up with a support model, an implementation, a training and a support model, so in order to resolve the issues, we came up with a support model which comprised of professional nurses based in the Philippines who could spend the time talking to the patient and advising them how to use the technology in order to help them with their condition. The second challenge is in relation to medication intake. When the patient is taking the medicine as prescribed, there's no issue. However, when it appears that 10 tablets have been taken at one time, is that a software glitch? Is that an issue as in the patient has flushed the tablets down the toilet? Or is it genuinely that the patient has taken 10 tablets? The person who's on the help desk needs to respond to that issue immediately and take the correct actions. In my opinion, that person who is responding to the help desk needs to be a trained nurse. You cannot use a person in a standard help desk to respond to that kind of issue. The third challenge that we faced was in relation to adverse events. So the patient is trained in relation to contacting the doctor in the event of an adverse event. The reality is that the patient, when they believe something has happened, they will contact any number that they have. So we found that in over 50% of the cases, the patient would call the help desk to report an adverse event. Again, that's where you need a trained nurse who understands the procedures and can coach the patient, ensure that the patient contacts the right team for help, but also ensure that the correct documentation is followed so that the adverse event is fully documented as well. So my takeaway message is, in order to scale this kind of technology, you need a support team who understand the therapeutic area, they understand the patient, and they also understand the technology. In my experience, it's been very, very easy to train a nurse in the Philippines in the use of the technology. They already have the professional background in relation to the medication. They already have the experience in relation to dealing with patients. And it's a perfect support mechanism for scaling this kind of technology to ensure maximum compliance, medical adherence, and ultimately personalised medicine.